Hello and welcome to another update on the Wilsonville real estate market. My name is Steve Thoele. I'm a principal real estate broker with Premier Property Group. And this update is going to cover the last 8 weeks of market activity ending this past Sunday, February 4th. So let me switch over here, share my screen, and we'll go through the info here together. So first off, we'll look at active listing activity. And this last week, I showed we had 7 new properties come on the market in Wilsonville, and it's been pretty steady. You can kind of see over the past 3 or 4 weeks, had 6 the week prior. And the total level of supply you can kind of see has been very steady as well. We had started off with 68, and gosh, we had a low of 62 and a high of 70. And so we're kind of right in the middle of that this week at 66. So again, pretty stable level of inventory over the past couple months. The median list price and days on market for the active listings, that has kind of come down a bit. We had a high of 773,000 median list price 7 weeks back, got down to a low of 709 2 weeks back, and then this last week did pop back up to 745,000 as of this last week for these most recent 66 homes on the market. The days on market, you can kind of see that started off at 55, got up to a high of 72, and then has declined quite a bit, basically kind of cut in half over this past month, down to 36 days of market time for these most recent 66 homes on the market in Wilsonville. Moving along to the pending sales here. So this last week I showed we had 8 properties go pending in Wilsonville, and matches a high for the past 8 weeks. And week before that, we only had 1. So definitely an improvement over the week prior. And then total number of pendings, you can kind of see we were kind of stuck in the low 20s here for the first 4 weeks. Did see the nice increase here as we moved into this new month. And so we're currently at 29. And the median price and days on market for those pendings, you can kind of see the price goes. We started off at around 650, had a high of 715. Last 2 weeks, we've been right at 680,000 for a median price of the pendings. And then the days on market, we were sitting, pretty close to around 30 days for a good chunk of the time here, and it has increased over the past couple weeks, quite substantially, actually, up to about double, about up to 60 days. So right now, these 29 homes had an average days on market of 60 days. So definitely, a bit of a slowdown in terms of things getting into contract here as of late. And then last thing we'll look at here is sold listing activity. So as of the time I put this together, we had 5 properties last week crossover from pending to sold, up from the week prior where we had 2, and then that was up from the week prior where we had 0. So it's been, a couple of very weak weeks, slow weeks, I should say, there for closings. And we'll look back over the prior 4 weeks of activity on a week-by-week basis. You can kind of see we had a high of 17 closings over the prior 4 weeks here, about 6 weeks back, and that dropped clear down to 9 closings over a 4-week period here 2 weeks ago. Did pop up just a touch here this last week to 12 closings over the prior 4 weeks. So again, pretty muted level of closings here as of late. The median sold price and days on market for these sold listings, that has come down in terms of the price. We had a high of 760,000 8 weeks back, and we had kind of a low for this past 8 weeks at 609 as of this last week for these 12 most recent sales that have closed over the prior 4 weeks. And then days on market, pretty steady, kind of in the kind of low to mid 60s. Did touch 70 at 1 week, but hasn't moved a whole lot. Had 57 days, again, is the most recent reading on that. And then the last thing we'll look at here, as terms of the data, is the weeks of inventory and the sale prices percent of the original list price. Red bars is that weeks of inventory number. And you can kind of see we had a low of about 15 weeks of inventory about 6 weeks back, and really kind of spiked here 2 weeks ago up to 31 weeks of inventory, just because the number of closings really fell there that week versus just kind of a steady level of supply. So it was well over 7 months worth if you just look at that 1 week. But we did drop back down to 22 weeks, which is still a little over 5 months of inventory. So definitely kind of a slower market environment right now in Wilsonville. And the sale prices as a percent of the original list price, that has been been holding pretty steady, as you can kind of see over this past month. It was on the increase. We had a low of just right around 95% to begin with. That increase over the month of kind of from mid-December up to mid-January or so, got up to this 99%, and it's been holding pretty steady at that level for the past 3 or 4 weeks now. So even though the number of closings has been pretty muted, prices have been holding pretty firm for sellers relative to their original asking price. So challenging environment. A lot of that has to do with just level of affordability is still a challenge for buyers. And obviously a big determinant of that is the interest rate environment, which remains elevated. Last thing we'll look at here is just what's happening with rates. According to Mortgage News Daily, which is a site I use, kind of track mortgage rates. We're looking at 30-year fixed rate mortgage rates, and you kind of see where they've gone over this past year. Again, I've touched on this. They got it clear a bit of above 8%, and then we saw a big drop down to close to just a little above 6.5%. And then they have trended higher from that low point in mid-December or so. Last week was very volatile in rates. We were about 6.9% to begin the week, and then over the course of a couple of days, it dropped clear down to excuse me, about 6.65%. And then this last Friday just zoomed right back up to about 7.9. And a lot of that had to do with a couple economic reports that came out last week showing that the job market still remains very strong. And the Fed basically met last week as well, and kind of poured some cold water on the markets with any hopes of a interest rate cut in the near future. It doesn't look likely. So anyway, that's kind of with the update for now on rates, and hope that was helpful for you. And as always, if I can answer questions or be of any help, please let me know. Always happy to help. My number and email address are down below the video. So let me know if I can be of service to you. As always, really appreciate any likes, comments, and shares that you have on these videos. And if I can get you to subscribe to my channel, would encourage you to do that. Just click the subscribe button before you leave. So hope you have a great day and week ahead, and we'll see you on the next update.